The human eye is an amazing organ because of its complexity, speed, and function, working much like a sophisticated living camera that sends detailed information to your brain so we can see the world around us. It is widely believed to be one of the most complex organs in the body after the brain. In the previous video, we talked about the external eye structures. Today we will discuss the internal eye anatomy. The eye has three main tissue layers, or tunics, from outside to inside. The tough fibrous tunic, which is sclera and cornea for protection and shape. The middle vascular tunic, uvea, which contains choroid, iris, ciliary body for nourishment and light control. And the inner nervous tunic retina detects light and sends signals to the brain. Mnemonic to remember: favorite van in Nevada. F for fibrous tunic, Van V for vascular tunic, and Nevada N for nervous tunic. First, we will talk details about the fibrous tunic, outer layer. Sclera, the white of the eye, providing structure. Cornea, the clear front part that focuses light. Mnemonic to remember: cool the sac. Sac S is for sclera, cool C is for cornea. The sclera is the tough, white outer wall of your eyeball, acting like a strong protective shield that keeps the delicate inner parts safe from injury and maintains the eye's round shape, provides a sturdy anchor for eye muscles, and allows for the passage of nerves and blood vessels. The sclera, the white part of the eye, is made of tough, fibrous, dense connective tissue, primarily composed of crisscrossing bundles of collagen fibers, which provide strength and maintain the eye's shape, making it strong yet flexible. This irregular arrangement is essential because it allows light to pass through other parts of the eye, but provides the sclera with exceptional strength and durability in all directions, helping it maintain the eye's shape and protect the delicate inner structures. The main functions of sclera: shields the inner eye from trauma and external forces, maintains the eyeball's spherical shape and integrity, serves as the anchor for the muscles that allow you to move our eyes, shields the inner eye from trauma and external forces, maintains the eyeball's spherical shape and integrity. The cornea is our eye's clear, dome-shaped front window, and its main jobs are to focus light, providing most of your eye's focusing power, like a camera lens, and to protect the eye, acting as a barrier against dirt, germs, and harmful UV rays, ensuring clear vision by bending light onto the retina and shielding inner parts. What is unique concerning the cornea? The cornea is unique primarily because it is the only living human tissue that has no blood vessels. This essential avascularity, lack of blood supply, allows it to remain perfectly transparent, which is critical for vision, as blood vessels would block or scatter light. What kind of tissue is corneas made of? The cornea is made of several specialized layers of epithelial tissue, outermost, and dense connective tissue, stroma, including collagen, with a simple layer of endothelial cells lining the inner surface, all working together to keep it clear and protect the eye. How does cornea get its nourishment? The cornea, unlike most tissues in the body, has no blood vessels to keep it transparent for clear vision. Instead, it gets its nourishment and oxygen from two main sources. From the outside, the cornea absorbs oxygen and nutrients from our tears that spread across the surface every time we blink. From the inside, it receives essential nutrients from the aqueous humor, a clear fluid that fills the front chamber of the eye, located directly behind the cornea. The vascular tunic, UVEA. Why it's called the vascular tunic, vascular layer. It's rich in blood vessels, vascular, that nourish the retina and other parts of the eye. The term tunic refers to a coat or covering, as this layer wraps around the eyeball like a shirt or protective covering. Knowing where the names came from helps us visualize and make sense of the anatomy of eye. Why it's called the uvea, grape. The deep reddish-blue or dark color and texture of this middle layer resemble a grape. The name is a direct translation from Latin, uva, and ancient Greek, reflecting this visual similarity. The vascular tunic, or UVAA, has three main functions providing nourishment to the eye, controlling pupil size, and focusing the lens. It is the middle, blood vessel-rich layer of the eye, located between the outer fibrous layer, sclera, and the inner retina. Its components, the choroid, ciliary body, and iris, work together to keep the eye healthy and functional. The vascular tunic contains choroid, ciliary body, and iris. Mnemonics to remember CCI camera. C for choroid, C for ciliary body, I for iris. If you have a good skill of remembering terms, ignore the mnemonics. The choroid is a vascular layer of the eye that provides nourishment and oxygen to the outer retina, absorbs stray light to prevent glare and improve vision, and plays a role in thermoregulation. It contains a dense network of blood vessels and melanin, which absorbs light and darkens the eye's interior, and also contributes to regulating intraocular pressure and draining aqueous humor. Its numerous blood vessels provide nutrients to the retina. Also, the choroid contains melanocytes that produce the pigment melanin. Melanin in the choroid absorbs excess light, which prevents reflection and scattering of light within the eyeball. The ciliary body is a ring of eye tissue containing the ciliary muscle, responsible for changing the lens shape for focus, which is called accommodation, and ciliary processes, which secrete aqueous humor, eye fluid, that nourishes the cornea and lens, keeping the eye hydrated and maintaining pressure. It also includes ciliary epithelium, blood vessels, and serves as an attachment for zonular fibers, suspensory ligaments, connecting to the lens. It's located between the iris and the choroid. The ciliary muscle is not everywhere in the eye. It's a specific ring-shaped smooth muscle located within the ciliary body, a crucial structure situated behind the iris and connecting it to the choroid, forming a 360-degree band that controls lens shape for focusing. It's a specialized part of the middle layer, UVEA, of the eye, not a diffuse muscle covering the entire eyeball, and works with zonular fibers to adjust focus. It forms a continuous ring, allowing it to contract like a sphincter to change lens shape. The ciliary body is the overall structure that includes the ciliary muscle as one of its key components, alongside the ciliary processes which produce eye fluid. What is the difference between ciliary process and ciliary muscle? The ciliary muscle is for changing the lens shape to focus, which is accommodation, while the ciliary processes are for producing the eye's internal fluid, aqueous humor, the function of ciliary body. Accommodation, focusing. It contains the ciliary muscle, a smooth muscle. When you focus on near objects, the muscle contracts, loosening the suspensory ligaments that hold the lens, allowing the lens to become rounder and increase focusing power. For distant vision, the muscle relaxes, tightening the ligaments and flattening the lens. Aqueous humor production secretes this vital fluid that nourishes the front of the eye and maintains intraocular pressure. The ciliary muscle and zonule fibers are the structures that anchor and control the shape of the natural crystalline lens in the eye, which is vital for the process of focusing, accommodation. The iris. The iris is the colored part of your eye that acts like a camera's aperture, controlling how much light enters by changing the size of the pupil, the black dot in the middle. In bright light, it makes the pupil smaller to let less light in, and in dim light, it makes the pupil bigger to let more light in, allowing you to see clearly in different conditions. What gives the iris its color? The color of the iris is determined by the amount and distribution of a pigment called melanin, which is controlled by genetics. What is melanin? This pigment is produced by specialized cells called melanocytes in the iris. The amount of melanin you have is determined by your genes. Brown eyes. High amount of melanin in both layers of the iris. Green hazel eyes. Moderate amount of melanin in the front layer. Blue eyes. Very little to no melanin in the front layer. The three intrinsic eye muscles, located inside the eyeball and controlling focus and pupil size, are the ciliary muscle, the sphincter pupillae, or pupillary sphincter, and the dilator pupillae, or pupillary dilator. The three intrinsic eye muscles are smooth muscles. They are involuntary and controlled by the autonomic nervous system, not the conscious mind. Ciliary muscle. This muscle changes the shape of the lens for focusing on near or distant objects. Accommodation. Pupillary sphincter muscle. Sphincter pupillae. This circular muscle constricts the pupil in bright light. Pupillary dilator muscle. Dilator pupillae. This radially arranged muscle dilates the pupil in dim light. Which intrinsic muscles are innervated by oculomotor nerve? The oculomotor nerve innervates two key intrinsic eye muscles. The sphincter pupillae constricts the pupil for near vision, and the ciliary muscle. The dilator pupillae muscle is innervated by the sympathetic nervous system, not the oculomotor nerve. The nervous tunic, also called the retina, is the eye's innermost layer, acting like the camera's film. It contains light-sensitive cells, rods for night vision, and cones for color, detail, that capture images, convert them into electrical signals, and send them to the brain via the optic nerve, letting us see everything around us. As eye structure could be confusing, because it's not like a thing you just can see with an open eye in any moment without going to lab, and without lab eye model. It could be confusing sometimes which part is actually retina. The retina is a thin, light-sensitive layer of neural tissue that lines the entire back wall inside the eye. It converts light into electrical signals that are sent to the brain, allowing you to see. In general, the retina appears reddish or orange due to the many blood vessels behind it. The whole process happens in an amazing way. It's happening all the time whenever we see something, just we never think how it happens. The process is like this: light comes into the eye through the cornea and lens. The light lands on the retina at the back of your eye. Special cells, rods and cones, in the retina detect the light. These cells turn the light into electrical signals. The optic nerve, which is part of this tunic, carries these signals to your brain. Your brain interprets the signals as the image we see. What are the two types of photoreceptors, and what do they detect? The two main types of photoreceptors are rods and cones, located in our retina, which detect different aspects of light. The whole process happens in an amazing way. It's happening all the time whenever we see something, just we never think how it happens. The process is like this: light comes into the eye through the cornea and lens. The light lands on the retina at the back of your eye. Rods, night and movement. Detects low light, shapes, motion, and shades of gray. They work in the dark or dim conditions, night vision. It's very sensitive to light but don't see color. Cones, color and detail. Detects bright light, colors, and sharp details. They work in bright light, daytime vision. Cones need bright light to work but detect colors and fine details, like reading or driving, and have three types: red, green, blue, for full color vision. Name the three types of cones. The three types of cones in your eyes are S cones, blue, M cones, green, and L cones, red. S cones, short, pick up shorter light waves, which we see as blue. M cones, medium, pick up medium light waves, which we see as green. L cones, long, pick up longer light waves, which we see as red. Are rods and cones evenly distributed in the retina? Rods and cones are not evenly distributed in the retina. They have opposite patterns. Cones are packed densely in the center, fovea, for sharp color vision, while rods are abundant in the periphery for night motion detection, largely absent from the fovea, and reach their peak density in a ring around it. Where are rods and cones primarily located? Rods and cones are located in the retina, the light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye. Rod's location: the periphery of the retina. Function: highly sensitive to light and motion, responsible for low light, night vision, and peripheral vision. Distribution: approximately 120 million rods are distributed across the retina, with density increasing as you move away from the center. The number just to understand how complex and amazing our eyesight, which we never think of. Cone's location: concentrated in the fovea, the central part of the retina, with a sharp peak density in this area. Function: responsible for color vision and sharp, detailed vision in daylight distribution. About 6 million cones are located in the retina, with their density decreasing rapidly as you move away from the fovea. The retina has about 10 layers, but the primary function of vision, light detection, and signal transmission to the brain is carried out by a direct pathway involving just 3 main layers of nerve cells: photoreceptors, bipolar cells, and ganglion cells. Here we will talk about the 4 layers of retina. Pigmented epithelium. Photoreceptors, rods and cones, catch light, then send signals to bipolar neurons, which relay them to ganglion cells, whose axons form the optic nerve to send messages to the brain. The retinal pigment epithelium, RPE, is the outermost layer, closest to the choroid, and is vital for supporting the photoreceptors by absorbing excess light, transporting nutrients, and recycling visual pigments. Photoreceptors, rods and cones, are the light-sensing cells that convert light photons into electrical signals. Bipolar neurons, cells, receive signals from the photoreceptors and relay this information to the next layer. Ganglion cells receive input from the bipolar cells and amacrine cells and are the retina's main output neurons. Their axons bundle together to form the optic nerve, which carries the processed visual messages to the brain. Let's recall what is photoreceptor, bipolar neuron, and ganglion cells. Photoreceptors are special cells in our retina, the back of your eye, that act like tiny cameras, capturing light and turning it into electrical signals your brain understands as vision. A bipolar neuron in the retina is like a middleman cell, connecting light-detecting photoreceptors, rods and cones, to the ganglion cells that send signals to the brain, processing light, contrast, and color as it relays information from the outer to the inner retina. It's called bipolar because it has 2 extensions, one axon, one dendrite, coming from its cell body, acting as a crucial link in the visual pathway. The optic nerve is formed by the bundled axons of the retinal ganglion cells, which are neurons located in the retina that collect visual signals and transmit them as electrical impulses from the eye to the brain for processing. The optic disc, also called the blind spot, is the small area on the retina where the optic nerve exits the eye to send visual information to the brain, and because it lacks light-detecting photoreceptors, rods and cones, it creates a natural gap in our vision that we usually don't notice as our brain fills it in using information from the other eye and surroundings. Everyday life expectancy in driving. Understanding blind spots is crucial in driving because they are hidden areas where you can't see other cars, leading to dangerous lane change accidents, side swipes, and missed pedestrians or cyclists, significantly increasing crash risks, especially with larger vehicles, requiring drivers to perform shoulder checks, adjust mirrors, and be aware of their surroundings beyond mirrors to prevent collisions. The central fovea is the eye's tiny, super-sharp focus point, a small pit in the retina packed densely with color-sensing cone cells, allowing you to see fine details, read and recognize faces clearly by pushing other retinal layers aside so light hits directly. It's the bullseye for your clearest vision, crucial for tasks needing high resolution, and it's located in the center of the macula. The macula is a small, vital spot in the center of the retina at the back of the eye. Its function is crucial. It is responsible for your sharp, detailed central vision, which you use for tasks like reading, driving, and recognizing faces. The fovea and macula are not the same thing. However, the fovea is located inside the macula, which is inside the retina. The fovea provides the highest visual acuity, whereas the macula is responsible for central vision and most of a person's color vision. In adults, lazy eye, amblyopia, is a condition of reduced vision in one eye that persists because the brain has learned to favor the stronger eye and largely ignore the signals from the weaker one. This typically originates from abnormal visual development in childhood, but can occasionally manifest in adults due to issues like eye injury, cataracts, or neurological problems. Because the brain gets a poor quality or mismatched signal from the weaker eye's fovea, it starts to suppress or ignore that input to avoid double vision or confusion. This is the very simple explanation of it, but an eye doctor can find the whole reason for that. What is lens, and is it parts of the retina? The lens is not part of the retina. They are two distinct parts of the eye. The lens is a clear structure located behind the pupil that focuses light onto the retina, which is the light-sensitive tissue lining the back of the eye. The proteins are packed tightly together in a series of transparent, concentric layers, similar to the layers of an onion. The lens does not have its own blood supply or nerves. Instead, it gets nutrients and removes waste products from the surrounding clear fluid called the aqueous humor. As people age, these proteins can start to break down and clump together, causing the lens to become cloudy. This condition is known as a cataract. The lens' primary job is to focus light. It changes shape to precisely bend light rays coming from different distances, far away or close up, onto the light-sensitive back of the eye, called the retina. This action ensures that a clear, sharp image is formed, allowing you to see objects both near and far in focus. The lens changes shape through a process called accommodation, using the ciliary muscle in the eye. Looking far, the ciliary muscle relaxes. This action pulls the suspensory ligaments tight, which in turn flattens the lens, allowing you to see distant objects clearly. To look near, the ciliary muscle contracts. This contraction releases the tension on the suspensory ligaments, allowing the natural elasticity of the lens to make it thicker and more curved, focusing light from near objects onto the retina. Relaxed muscle is flat lens, far vision. Contracted muscle is curved lens, near vision. The oculomotor nerve, CN3. The nerve that innervates the ciliary muscle is the oculomotor nerve, cranial nerve 3. The anterior cavity of the eye is the front section of the eyeball, located in front of the lens and ciliary body. It's the space between the innermost surface of the cornea, the clear front window of the eye, and the front surface of the iris and lens. It is filled with a clear, watery fluid called aqueous humor, which provides nutrients to the surrounding structures and maintains the pressure inside the eye. The iris, the colored part of your eye, further divides this cavity into two smaller chambers: the anterior chamber, between the cornea and iris, and the posterior chamber, between the iris and the lens. The aqueous humor is continuously produced in the eye by the ciliary body, a structure located behind the iris and near the lens. The aqueous humor primarily nourishes the front of the eye and maintains eye shape and pressure. The cornea and lens don't have their own direct blood supply, so the aqueous humor provides them with essential nutrients like glucose, amino acids, and vitamin C, and removes waste products. The fluid keeps the front of the eyeball inflated, helping it maintain its round shape and ensuring proper nourishment. Canal of Schlemm. The canal of Schlemm is located in the eye, forming a circular channel at the junction of the cornea and the sclera, in the trabecular meshwork. It is a drainage channel for the aqueous humor, the fluid that fills the front part of the eye, which is crucial for maintaining healthy intraocular pressure, named after German anatomist Friedrich Schlemm. Proper function of this canal is crucial. If it becomes blocked or flow is resisted, pressure inside the eye, intraocular pressure, can rise, leading to glaucoma and potential optic nerve damage and vision loss. The posterior cavity. The posterior cavity, or vitreous chamber of the eye, is the large back section behind the lens, filled with a clear, gel-like substance called vitreous humor, which maintains the eye's spherical shape and allows light to pass through to the retina. This cavity contains the light-sensitive retina, choroid, and optic nerve, crucial for converting light into neural signals sent to the brain. The function of vitreous humor. Aqueous humor versus vitreous humor, what they are and differences. The vitreous humor is the clear, gel-like substance filling your eye, primarily functioning to maintain the eye's round shape, provide a clear path for light to reach the retina, and supply nutrients. acting like a supportive, transparent cushion that keeps everything in place so you can see clearly. The unique aspect of vitreous humor synthesis in the body is that it is largely a one-time developmental event with virtually no turnover in adulthood, rather than a continuous synthesis process like most body fluids. You get most of your vitreous humor when you are very young, and it has to last you a lifetime. As a result of this static nature and lack of regeneration, the gel naturally breaks down and liquefies over time, a process called vitreous syneresis, leading to common age-related issues like floaters. Presbyopia is a natural age-related condition where the eye's lens becomes less flexible, making it difficult to focus on nearby objects like books or phones, usually starting around age 40 and causing blurry near vision, eye strain, and headaches, which can be corrected with reading glasses, contacts, or surgery. It's caused by the lens hardening and thickening over time, preventing it from changing shape to focus close-up light onto the retina, and isn't a disease but a normal part of aging. Lens hardening. The crystalline lens inside the eye gradually thickens and loses its soft, flexible nature. Aging. This hardening makes it harder for the lens to adjust its shape to focus light from near objects onto the retina. Simple over-the-counter or prescription glasses for near tasks. Eyeglasses with different prescriptions for distance and near vision can help. Syneresis is the breakdown of the eye's jelly, while presbyopia is the stiffening of the lens, both leading to common vision issues as we age. An emmetropic eye is a perfectly focused eye with normal vision, 20/20, where light rays focus precisely on the retina without needing glasses or contacts, meaning the cornea, lens, and eye length are perfectly aligned for clear distance vision. It's the ideal state of vision. This is all for today. It took me a while to make the video as it is very broad topic. Please give me a thumbs up if it helps you. Next video we will talk about physiology of vision,